The disrespect continues. The disrespect continues. And if they're not careful, dump divers in the WNBA, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, if they are not careful, they are going to end up getting exactly what they want.
Yes, you heard correctly. The WNBA will succeed in its objectives. You could wonder what they want. How are they going to fix it? Indiana fever is the biggest threat, according to the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, who is dominating the league but wasn't supposed to be the WNBA's poster girl. The league will be enlarged to accommodate this. And you know what? One member from each squad will be available for selection by the new teams. By causing the fever to lose one or more players annually, the WNBA promises to be able to gradually but undoubtedly dismantle the massive machine that the squad is becoming into. Caitlin Clark is acting awesome right now. She's attempting to win over everyone. She is attempting to maintain the satisfaction of her fan base. She is attempting to fit in with a group of minimum wage workers who would never accept her. Despite the media's persistent disdain for her, she is still kind to them. However, Caitlin Clark will eventually reach a point where she has experienced, and you seem to think that Clark would simply quit the league and relocate to Europe, where she could easily make $110 annually if the WNBA is so adamant on stopping her. By remaining in the United States, she appears to be supporting the WNBA. But only the W doesn't know about it. Many athletes are already traveling abroad to play in the offseason. However, several of these players are wondering if they will even return given the current drama surrounding the WNBA and the poor compensation. Everything they're doing is planned. This is not a single accident. It is entirely staged. Furthermore, it goes beyond attempting to ruin Caitlin. To put it gently, the 2026 Indiana Fever season was exciting, even if it is now past. The team owes a lot to their first-round performance, since they went from being among the worst in the WNBA the previous season to making it to the playoffs. One possibility is Caitlin Clark. After a spectacular undergraduate career, Clark entered with great anticipation, and she fulfilled her promise by winning Rookie of the Year in her first WNBA season, outperforming the other rookies by a significant margin. But she wasn't the only player who did it. Several more players also contributed. For Clark Aaliyah, Kelsey Mitchell in particular was an excellent backcourt partner. Despite her best efforts, Boston starter Nalissa Smith scored in double figures every game and had a strong presence in the paint. Mae Smith and possibly other players will be departing the W. Storm player Gabby Williams cautioned the WNBA during her farewell interview, "You need to do better if you want to keep international players." What she had to say was as follows: "The W believes they don't need to give us extra money in order for us to be present. And when I initially discussed prioritization, I don't believe I mentioned that. Our commissioner mentioned that we could reach 700,000. In actuality, that is completely untrue. Not a single player does it. Additionally, we were promised league and team marketing deals, but they haven't lived up to expectations. Therefore, it is still insufficient for us foreign players to desire to remain here. And the players have a choice in it. If I decide to make more money or something, the teams will be upset if I don't return. However, that is the reality. It's just the WNBA, so absolutely you have to pay us more if you want us to be here. It's business. That's how it operates. And that's all. I mean, Gabby has already arrived in Istanbul, where she will play during the off-season, less than a week later. Additionally, based on the interview, it appears that she will likely earn more money in the EuroLeague than she did in the current WNBA season. Caitlin Clark will eventually grow weary of the nonsense and contempt. Playing during the regular season and then playing abroad over the off-season is not unusual for WNBA players. This has been going on for almost the whole WNBA. In 2015, it even lasted for a whole year. Diana Taurasi did not participate in the WNBA. Instead, she played in Russia. Additionally, it was never explicitly said that she didn't play in the WNBA since Russia essentially stipulated in their contract that she couldn't play if she traveled there. However, since Russia had paid Diana Taurasi $1 at the time, that was essentially what everyone believed had occurred. Playing in Russia pays $5 million. Now, the biggest salary in the WNBA at the time was $107,000. That is undoubtedly a significant jump. Diana accepted the offer. She performed abroad. She was also, without a doubt, the league's face at the time. Diana seized the chance even though the WNBA was not as well known as it is now. And given the WNBA's increasing popularity and players' ability to profit from brand deals, this and that, and their growing fame, I believe there may be a future in which more privately owned EuroLeague teams pursue some of the WNBA's top players. We might lose more players to playing abroad, as Gabby kind of hinted to, if the financial and commercial aspects make sense. However, after months of speculation, the WNBA has finally released the Golden State Vaults expansion draft regulations. As a result, the WNBA and the league should be concerned about more than just players relocating overseas. Golden State may select one player from each team and one unrestricted free agent. Teams can choose to exclude 6 of their 12 players in the expansion draft. Because the team's roster lists go back to the end of the 2026 season, any player on an active roster, including unrestricted free agents, is eligible for protection under certain circumstances. Clubs ought to protect its UF. A player may be CED, the NFL equivalent of a franchise tag, for a maximum of 2 years because every team has a core available this summer. In exchange for a Supermax contract, Kelsey Mitchell, a said-eligible UFA, would grant Indiana exclusive bargaining rights. About 10 days prior to the expansion draft, teams must submit their protected player lists. The league will reveal who is chosen in the expansion draft. Instead of the state of Indiana revealing the protected lists, just 6 players from the Valkyrie expansion squad qualify for Fever's protection. In order to help the Golden State Valkyries, the newest team in the league, start their franchise, the WNBA will hold an expansion draft at the conclusion of the season. If the fans had their way, current WNBA teams could only block the selection of up to 6 players. Smith would not be one of the several people who have decided not to include him in their top 6. Smith started 37 of 40 games during the regular season, which was an excellent start. However, Christie Sides, the head coach, lost confidence in her during the postseason. She only played 13 minutes during the Fever's 2 games versus the Connecticut Sun. These players are, in my opinion, the Fever's protective locks on the fence, and now that the terms have been adequately decided, they are most likely unprotected. The first 3 protected places will likely go to the Fever's Big 3, who helped Indiana make it back to the postseason this year. Clark will most likely play with a different starting forward in 2026. Protecting Mitchell in the expansion draft is the first step in keeping her as Kelsey Mitchell's major goal this offseason. Mitchell has been the Fever's mainstay for the past 7 seasons, leading the team in scoring in all but 2 of them. The team will want to keep her and Fever rookie Caitlin Clark together since they get along well in the backcourt. Caitlin Clark changed the Fever offense to the fast-paced pace they needed to win by breaking the league record most assists in a single season, as well as the rookie record for points and three-pointers made. Clark, a key member of the squad, became the Fever's top scorer this season after outscoring Mitchell by 2 points. Aaliyah Boston will be the greatest option in 2025. Boston helped the Fever start their rebuilding process in 2026 after leading them to a 13-27 season in 2025. The Fever's 2026 Rookie of the Year, Lexi Hull, is a strong post presence who excels in the short position, is a skilled rebounder, and fits in nicely with the team's up-tempo approach this season. A few players from the Indiana Fever are also uncertain about the WNBA expansion draft. 3 of the 4 exceptional servants described below must be selected by the Fever this season. Each of these players has a strong case for protection because they have been important starters or bench players throughout the season. I think Hull has the best chance of being protected on this list. Her rookie contract expires after 1 season. While on the bench at the start of the season, she got little minutes and even a few DNPs. She did, however, perform exceptionally well after the Olympic break, improving her three-point shooting from 22% to over 50% in 15 games and playing a great game for Indiana in the final minutes. Normally, Nalissa Smith would be protected by her Fever. However, I think it might be best for the 2 to part ways because unrelated factors are taking over the season, like Smith's admittance that she didn't contribute as much as she had wanted, and her vociferous complaint about the lack of touches she's had this season. Smith, a former number 2 pick, may be protected by the team while they hope to benefit from a trade or keep her for the last year of a rookie deal in 2026. Fagman Tammy, despite only playing in 22 regular season games because of 3 injuries to her thumb, foot, and shoulder, 32-year-old forward Lee has been a crucial part of the Fever, catching Clark's cross-court passes in transition. Fagel has a lot of potential as an athletic forward who can spread the floor as a restricted free agent, but she needs to stay healthy because the Fever could match any offer she gets. Due to a preseason knee injury, Dantis Dyrus, another forward troubled by injuries, was suspended for almost all of the season. But she soon made a comeback to the starting lineup, giving the front court much-needed depth. Her ability to consistently make three-pointers gives the team plenty of space on the court and a boost of energy, and she still has 1 year left on her contract. The Valkyries could select these 5 players because they are likely to be unprotected in the expansion draft. However, because they are not protected, not all of them will be selected. Only 1 player will be chosen by each team. Most of these players will be able to return to the Fever in 2026. Katie Lou Sampson took a year off in August 2025 to give birth to her daughter. Sampson rejoined the WNBA. In her farewell interviews with Fever, she said that the physical demands of returning to the league after giving birth and caring for a baby at the same time made it much harder than she had expected. Samuelson has 1 year remaining on her contract and is projected to make $180,000 from the Fever in 2026. She began the season with the starting lineup at 3, but her stats declined since she was unable to shoot from 3 after Clark took over at point guard. Grace Berger, the 7th overall pick in 2025, suffered a sharp decline in playing time. This season, Berger, who was an all-rookie guard in 2025, largely played garbage time. She might benefit from a change of environment in order to possibly get more playing time somewhere. Victoria Saxton was chosen in the 3rd round in the 2025 selection, but she hasn't yet established herself as a regular rotation player despite having the Fever for 2 years. When she scored 5 points in 5 minutes during the regular season finale, while the starters were rested due to a sickness, it was her greatest performance of the year. The only Olympian with a Fever during this cycle was Christy Wallace, who won bronze with Australia. Other than that, she had a mixed season, starting 15 games at the 3 because of the Fever until Hull replaced her at the end of the season. Clark still has 1 year left on her rookie contract because she joined the team this season. 10-year WNBA veteran Erica Wheeler recently inked a big 2-year deal that will make her the league's highest-paid player in 2025. Despite being benched from the starting lineup, Wheeler was an important veteran who raised Indiana's spirits. Wheeler is an unrestricted free agent this summer. What do you want to accomplish? More specifically, who do you think the Valkyries will select before the next season begins? To ensure you don't miss anything, please leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on all alerts. Once you click the